Have you ever built a beautiful system, written a detailed SOP, maybe even hired project managers, but somehow you're still the one everyone comes to with questions? Most business owners build systems that collect digital dust in a Google Drive, beautiful SOPs that no one follows, project management software that becomes yet another thing you have to manage, software stacks that cost a fortune but don't actually run anything. I'm Dr. Shannon Irvin, and today I want to share with you what I've learned coaching hundreds of 6 and 7 and 8 figure business owners and CEOs about why most business systems fail and 3 shifts that actually can create a business that runs without you. This isn't about working harder, making more connections, or hiring more people. It's about understanding why the Ferrari, the brain running your business, has the parking brake on, and finally learning how to truly release it. Let me tell you about Jessica first off. She had a team of 7 people who asked her an average, we checked it, 47 questions per day. 47. She was essentially running 7 different jobs instead of one business. I bet you feel that. She had systems, she had SOPs sitting in Google Drives. She had a project management software and an operator, but nothing stuck because she was missing something crucial. Systems don't work unless your team is trained to think like you. Here's what I see happening with most entrepreneurs and business owners and CEOs. You've been told that to scale means more people, more software, more systems, more time, more complexity. But every new system you build becomes another thing that you have to manage. Every new hire becomes someone you have to train. Every new process becomes something you have to monitor. And you end up creating what I call system overwhelm, a more expensive, more complicated version of the same problem. The real issue isn't that you don't have systems, the issue is that the systems don't have automated intelligence built into them. Your team defaults back to asking you because that's always been the path of least resistance. They've been trained unconsciously, of course, to see you as the decision maker, the problem solver, the one with all the answers. And most business advice tells you to just delegate better or document everything or hire an integrator, but they never show you how to actually transfer your decision-making ability to your team. They never show you how to install your judgment, your standards, your goals, and your strategic thinking into the people who work for you. So what actually really works? Over the last few years, working with everyone from 6-figure founders to 9-figure CEOs, I've identified 3 core shifts that separate businesses that run themselves from those that require constant business owner involvement. So shift number 1 is from task management to decision transfer. Most founders think that delegation means handing over tasks, right? But that's just not enough. You need to transfer your decision-making patterns to your team. Let me give you a practical example of this. Instead of creating an SOP that says respond to client complaints within 24 hours, you create what I call a decision DNA. Teach your team the mental framework. When a client is upset, first acknowledge their feelings, then identify if this is a process issue or a communication issue. Then apply our resolution matrix based on the client's tier level. You're not just giving them steps, you're giving them your thinking process. All right, shift number 2, from revenue dependence to revenue generation. This is a big one. Here's a question that will hit differently. What would it feel like if you went to bed tonight and you woke up tomorrow to find that your team had generated $50K in revenue while you slept? Most business owners are stuck in what I call revenue dependence. If they're not the person involved, revenue stops. But the smartest CEOs I work with have learned how to hardwire handing over revenue generation entirely. And this isn't about setting up automated funnels. Thank you, Russell. This is about training your team to identify opportunities, make strategic decisions without you, and drive growth without you having to conduct any single note. This requires a new neural network for you to execute this. Like Jessica, her team went from asking her 47 questions a day to bringing her 3 strategic updates per week. Same team, same business, completely different operating system. You can feel the release, right? The result is that she's launched 2 new revenue streams and taken a 3-week vacation without checking email, not even once. So here's shift 3. We want to move from visionary led to visionary inspired. Now, this is a hard one for most business owners and CEOs. Picture this. It's a relay race, 4 runners, each taking their leg of the race. I love working in metaphors. So the first runner doesn't hold on to the baton and tries to run all 4 legs. They hand it off cleanly so they can run the race together. But most founders are like that first runner, having a tug of war at the handoff. They want to pass the baton, but they can't let go because they don't trust their team to run their leg properly. This shift is learning to move from being visionary led, where everything flows through you, to visionary inspired, where your vision guides the team, but they own execution. This means instead of you making every decision, your team makes decisions based on the mental frameworks and decision trees that you've installed with them. And instead of solving every problem, they solve problems using what we call mental maps that you have given them. Now, let me share something that might be the most important insight of this entire video. The subconscious wiring that got you to where you are right now won't get you to where you want to go. Think of it like a language. There is a certain language, let's call it English, that gets you to 6 figures or maybe early 7. You learned it through school, through college, through our culture. It's the work hard, grind, push, get there with more of you, more of your time, bootstrap mentality. And it works. That mental map can absolutely get you to 6 figures. But here's where it starts to break down. There's an entirely different subconscious map for those at 5 million, 10 million, and beyond. It's like shifting from English to French. You can't expect to operate at a higher level with those old languages. Most people spend decades slowly grinding until they accidentally discover this. But the smart ones, they learn to rewire that next level of leadership execution intentionally and install them systematically. You know you're hitting one of these blocks when it feels so hard, when you can't step away, when no one else on your team is generating revenue, and when your team relies on you for every single instruction. Here's what I want you to try just like this week. Pick one area where your team constantly is asking you questions. And instead of just answering the question, document your thinking process. Ask yourself, what framework am I using to make this decision? What criteria, what priorities? And then share that framework with your team and say, the next time this comes up, use this decision tree and make the call yourself. And then update me on what you decide and why. You will be amazed at how quickly they start to think like you when you give them your actual thinking process instead of just your answers. Look, building a self-running business isn't about finding the perfect system or hiring more people. It's about hardwiring into your subconscious 3 fundamental shifts: transferring decision-making ability, handing over revenue generation, and moving from visionary led to visionary inspired. What got you to where you are won't get you to where you want to go. That's actually exciting news because it means the breakthrough that you're looking for isn't about working harder. It's about working differently. It's about hardwiring. So I hope this gives you a clear framework to start implementing this week. Try that decision tree exercise I mentioned. Start small, but start somewhere. And I'd love for you to drop a comment and let me know which of these 3 shifts feels the most challenging and the most aligned right now. I read every single comment and I'd love to know where you're getting stuck and how I can help. And if this was helpful, subscribe and hit the notification bell because I share these kind of frameworks regularly. The stuff I wish someone had taught me when I was grinding 60-hour weeks, thinking that was the only way to grow. Remember why you started this business in the first place. You didn't sign up to be a prisoner of your own business. You deserve to have a business that serves your life and not the other way around. All right. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.